Well, hi once again, everybody, for joining us on what promises to be a very special edition of the best damn golf podcast in the country. You know what it is, the 19th hole podcast for golfers, coming to you live from the great Rigel Studios, right in the heart of the entertainment capital of the world. And of course, that's Las Vegas, Nevada. Weather here is getting a little bit better. The wind has stopped. You know, we were in the mid 40s, upper 40s last week. Too cold to play golf. All of the golf courses had frost delays and whatever, but now the sun's out. We're up to the low 60s, so we're getting a chance to get out to play some golf. So again, as I keep saying, no matter where you are in what part of the country, I hope the weather's good enough for you to get out and keep playing golf. We've got a little bit different of a show today. As all of my followers know, I love politics. And when I have the chance to get on somebody who I think is interesting, who would be a great candidate for the particular office that they're trying to fill in the state of Nevada, what the hell, I get him on the show. And this gentleman just happens to also be in love with the game of golf. So we're going to find out how often he plays, what his handicap is, whether he's garaging his buddies, and how much beer he drinks on the golf course. But we'll get to that at the end of the show. So let me tell you a little bit about our special guest before we bring him up. Stavros Anthony currently serves as a member of the Las Vegas City Council, where he represents Ward 4. His tenure started way back in 2009. Councilman Anthony began his career with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in 1980, and he oversaw numerous divisions with Metro while he had the position of captain. Stavros has an exceptional background in education as well. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from Wayne State, and you know that's in Detroit, Michigan. He graduated in 1987 with a Master of Arts in Poli-Sci, Political Science, right here at UNLV in 1999, and he received his PhD in Sociology also from UNLV. Throughout his tenure at Metro, Anthony has been appointed to numerous boards and commissions, really too many to mention here on the show, but trust me, there's a hell of a lot of them. Stavros has been married for some 35 years, having two daughters, both graduates of UNR. And the reason that Anthony is here really is, you know, he's running for lieutenant governor, but we want to talk about his golf game. So no, but anyway, let me bring up Anthony right now on camera and welcome him to the show. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Don. It's good to be with you.
I know you could be out hitting balls, but you know, to spend an hour with me, I appreciate it.
I have a great time being with a fellow golfer, and you're a great American, and I appreciate you having me on today.
You know what I was going to say, with a little more facial hair, I was thinking maybe Zorba the Greek was going to be walking in.
Well, you know, if those of you that remember Kojak, you know, Telly and his brother, kind of look like them a little bit, I've been told. So you can call me Kojak anytime you want.
That's great.
Stavros
I've got a little surprise for you. Before we start the show, let me just get down here. No. This was a labor.
I hope it's a box of golf balls.
I busted my ass making this for you last night, and I want you to let me know how this baklava is.
Oh my goodness!
And I want you to tell me how flaky that crust is. Go ahead, dig in.
All right. Well, let me grab a napkin here.
Yeah. And I don't know. Give me your honest opinion. I'm telling you, I sweated over this all night.
Well, I'm going to try a piece, Dennis, because you made it, but there's nothing like baklava made by little old Greek ladies. Those are the best.
That's what I was told. That one I was told. I want an honest opinion.
Not bad. Very flaky. Not too sweet. I'm taking these home with me. Sorry.
That's right. I made them for you.
Very good.
I made them for you, my friend.
And I don't know if you knew, but 2 weeks ago was National Baklava Day in
I did not
the
know
country.
that.
It was, and this is in your honor. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
You couldn't bring any Greek coffee there?
I tried to get it, but I couldn't get it. As you know, our governor appointed Conno Burkhead, a former school principal, to here in Clark County to the position of lieutenant governor after Kate Marshall moved on to a better position in the White House. First, number one, people want to know who the hell is she? And secondly, what kind of possible qualifications could a person like that have? God forbid something happens to our governor to run the state of Nevada. What's your feeling about that?
Well, that's a great question, Dennis. It was interesting because it took about 8 months before the governor even appointed to fill Kate Marshall's position. And I don't know the person that he appointed, really don't know her background, except apparently she's in education. But when you look at the governor's position, it's really primarily 3 areas. Economic development, which is tourism and helping small businesses. It involves, this is a homeland security piece, so Lieutenant Governor is involved in public safety. And then the Lieutenant Governor is president of the Senate during the legislative session. So, and I have experience in all of those. I mean, on the city council for the last 12 years, all we've worked on is helping small businesses, and I could spend 20 minutes just talking to you about that, how we try to attract tourists here to Las Vegas, obviously more towards the downtown area because that's what the city's responsible for. The Homeland Security piece, as you mentioned, I was with Metro for 29 years, loved every minute of it, loved protecting this community. My last 10 years, I was a captain, so I am very intimately involved with public safety. And I plan on, as Lieutenant Governor, traveling around the state and making sure every sheriff and police department has the resources that they need to protect their communities as far as the state's concerned. And then president of the Senate, right now, I'm the mayor pro tem for the city of Las Vegas, so I know how to run meetings. I know how to get things done on a legislative level because we do that on the city council level. So I am very qualified to be the next lieutenant governor, and I don't know much about the current lieutenant governor, what her qualifications are.
It was an interesting pick, and everybody, was kind of scratching their head going, who is this woman? And I'm sure she's very smart, obviously has a good education, principal of a school, but it was still a very, very interesting pick. Why then, Stavros, do you think that the importance of the lieutenant governor's office here has really been not downplayed, but underplayed and not given the importance or the priority that it should have?
Well, I tell you what, that is a great question, because when I go around our community and tell people I'm running for lieutenant governor for the great state of Nevada, one of the first things they ask me is, well, what exactly does a lieutenant governor do? Which is preposterous. I mean, people should know that the lieutenant governor is the second highest constitutional position in the state and has some very, very important responsibilities.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, when I'm the lieutenant governor, I'm going to take this position seriously, and I'm going to be working full time to make sure that small businesses are supported by the state. Really, that's going to be my top priority. Is small businesses have been absolutely decimated this last couple of years, and I want to get in there and find out what roadblocks there are on a state level that are keeping small businesses from opening, growing, prospering. Because 80% of our community, the small businesses employ 80% of our community. I mean, tourism is a big deal, and we need to stay on top of that. But it's a small business, family-owned business that employs most of the people in this state. And I'm going to make sure that I'm out there supporting them. I'm going to make sure I'm out there, as I mentioned, supporting sheriffs and police chiefs. So I'm going to be very active, traveling all over the state of Nevada and talking to small businesses, talking to rural areas, and finding out what the state can and should be doing to supporting them. So you're going to know what the lieutenant governor does when I'm the lieutenant governor.
And that kind of works into the question, and you kind of already explained it a little bit. Wanted you to explain to our viewers, under normal circumstances, really what the designated duties of the lieutenant governor are, and to follow up when you become lieutenant governor, what changes are you going to make to expand that role? I know you've expanded on a couple of them here, but I know you got more.
Well, let's take a look at economic development. So when I became elected to the Las Vegas City Council 12 years ago, the first thing I did was look at the regulations that the city of Las Vegas had when it came to small businesses. And I did that first by going out and talking to small businesses. And what I heard initially was we had way too many licenses. Sometimes you had to get 2 or 3 different licenses at the city for a couple of different businesses. So I went in there and working with our city council, I was able to reduce the number of business licenses by 50%. Then we went to getting a business license and doing business with the city online, which is very easy today. You want to develop a portion of Las Vegas, you can do most of it online today. Yeah. And what I hear today, talking to people about the state, is the state online system is really tough to work through. It's very difficult to navigate, and I want to get in there and change that. So when people want to open up a business here, the state is not getting in their way. And in fact, one of the things I've been thinking about is why do people have to pay for a state business license? They have to get a business license through the city. They have to get a business license through the county. So I'm wondering why they have to get a business license through the state. Is that is there a reason for that, or is it just generating revenue? And
which could it be a revenue stream, Stavros? That's my guess.
Well, then, if that is the case, and I find that out, I'm going to try to eliminate it, because the state shouldn't be trying to raise money off the backs of small businesses. When small business opens, they pay their taxes. They hire other people. Those people pay taxes. That should be the revenue generating. So those are the things I'm going to look at when it comes to economic development on a state level. The other interesting thing is the lieutenant governor is the president of the Senate during the legislative session. So I'm going to be somebody that is going to keep the Senate organized, and I'm going to try to champion conservative values and certain issues as the president of the Senate, and one of those is going to be election integrity. There's a whole history behind the last election when I ran for the Clark County Commission, and I'm not afraid to say that it was stolen from me. There was a lot of shenanigans going on, and a lot of it is because of the rules that the Democratic Party implemented in the last legislative session that really sets up a system where you can have fraud and corruption. And as a president of the Senate, I'm going to pursue legislation and push legislation with senators that are going to make elections open to everybody, but absolutely fraud-free. That's what we need to do.
So many people here are very cognizant of that and really want it. Before we go to our first commercial break, do you think you have the type of personality to work across the aisle, so to speak, to get something like that done?
Well, I'll tell you an example. When I was first elected to the Las Vegas City Council, there was a lot of things I was voting no on, and a lot of them were Oscar Goodman's projects. And, I love Oscar Goodman. He has done a wonderful job in this redeveloping downtown. But he came up to me one day and said, Stavros, I don't appreciate you voting against my projects, but you do it professionally. And you don't attack anybody. You've never attacked me once. You just state your case and you vote, and I very much appreciate that. So that's what I'm known for, is I will disagree with anybody, but I'll do it professionally and I'll never attack anyone.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And you have a great reputation for that.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to step away. We're going to take a short break here on the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. And we come back, we'll have a lot more with our special guest, Stavros Anthony, who's running for Lieutenant Governor of Nevada. And then I'm going to shove one of these pieces of baklava that I made into my mouth. So we'll see you right after this.
When I first learned about Encore, I was a little taken back because I didn't know much about the ball. I went out and played a couple rounds with it, and I was just extremely surprised how this ball made up for what I was looking for in a golf ball 20 years ago. It's a very straight ball. It launches a little higher than other balls that I've used, which is ideal for the tour because we're playing firm and fast greens. A lot of the balls do fly very similar, but this ball reacts so much differently around the greens and inside 100 yards than any other ball I've ever played. The combination of this ball is the best ball that I've ever played.
One of the buzzwords happening in golf is the word lag. You hear it all the time, but what is it, and how do I get it? Lag simply is the loading of the club to help produce tons of power in your golf swing. Up until now, getting lag into your swing has been very hard. Introducing the lag shot, a brand new proven training aid being praised by some of the leading PGA Tour instructors across the globe. This practice aid trains your hands, arms and body how to make a powerful, efficient golf swing with an amazing amount of lag. Lag shot is a 7-iron length club with the same loft and lie with a whippy, flexible blue shaft and a beautiful jet black club head. After you master the lag shot, your game will change forever with a stress-free swing, more power and more distance with lower scores every time you play. Go to lagshotgolf.com and you'll see why this truly is becoming the #1 training aid in golf. Visit lagshotgolf.com.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And I got to tell you that baklava was damn good. And excuse me if I'm dripping, but it was very good if I say so myself. Anyway, we're with Stavros Anthony, who's a candidate for Lieutenant Governor, current member of the Las Vegas City Council. Right now, Stavros, you see people living here, people living in the valley, as well as tournaments, as well as tourists walking up and down the strip that are very concerned about a number of problems and issues that are facing the valley right now, particularly in Las Vegas. And there's been an uptick in crime lately. COVID, cancellations in conferences and seminars, and the homeless, big problem, big concern with these people. What can you do as Lieutenant Governor to help alleviate those problems?
Well, a couple of them, Dennis, and you're absolutely right. I mean, we have to make sure that our tourist destination is the safest tourist destination in the world, and we have to make sure people can get in and out of here safely. And that's something that's been an issue the last couple of years. So, for example, the Lieutenant Governor is on the Nevada State Department of Transportation Board. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that the state absolutely must hold up as a priority, is making sure that our tourists can get to Las Vegas, to Washoe County, up in Reno, and really the rest of the state safely. And if you look at I-15 today, leaving Las Vegas on a weekend and coming here is a disaster.
Crazy.
It's taken too long.
Crazy.
So the Lieutenant Governor has to be a proponent on the Transportation Commission to get I-15 wide, to find other ways to get people here from Southern California, to make sure that our airport is at top capacity to fly people in and out of here, to make sure that up in Reno they have the best transportation mechanism. So that's absolutely #1. A second one is, and as a Lieutenant Governor, I have a Homeland Security responsibility, is to make sure that the local sheriffs and police chiefs have everything that they need from the state to keep our tourist destinations safe. And if you look at, I know they take it seriously. I know Sheriff Joe Lombardo takes it seriously.
Yeah.
I know the police chiefs in Southern Nevada. I know every single sheriff in Nevada, in every single county, and all the police chiefs take it seriously, but they need resources. They need resources from the state.
Yeah.
They're getting it from the city and the county, but the state has to step up and make public safety #1. Just like at the city of Las Vegas, our #1 priority is public safety. 70% of our budget at the city goes towards public safety in some shape or form. And the state has to step up to make sure that they're providing these folks the resources that they need, as well as the state police. The state police has to make sure that they have the personnel to police our community. So as Lieutenant Governor, those are the two things that I'm going to focus on 100%, to make sure people get here safely, and when they get here, they feel like they're in a safe community. Because if tourists walking around our state don't feel like they're safe, they're not coming back.
They're not coming back.
They're not.
You're absolutely right, and that's imperative. You touched on it too, and your former boss and good friend Sheriff Joe Lombardo, of course, is running for the office of Governor of the state of Nevada. Number one, were you surprised kind of that he decided to run? And secondly, you both have kind of similar backgrounds, education, law enforcement. So how do you differentiate yourself from him and kind of run your own race? Or do you find yourself getting compared? Because I've had people come up to me and they go, Dennis, could you imagine Lombardo up there as governor and Anthony up there as lieutenant? I mean, you got law enforcement personified up there. This is going to be really a safe state. How do you feel about something like that?
Well,
and you guys are going to work together well. You know each other, my God.
Well, I consider Joe Lombardo a friend of mine. He's running for governor. I'm running for lieutenant governor. We're not running as a ticket. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. But the thing about policing, especially when you go up the rank. I mean, I was a captain when I retired. Obviously, he's the sheriff when he retires. Is we're taught to think strategically. We're taught to gather the facts and make a decision. You can't make decisions on emotion. You can't make decisions just off the cuff. So we're taught as police leaders to look at a problem, gather the facts, and then find a solution. And a lot of people don't really do it that way. They come up with a bunch of information that tries to solve a problem, and the information they come up with is not what is needed to solve a problem. So I know both of us, if we're in the positions that we're running for, we will be looking for the issues that are important to the people in this state, and we'll come up with the data and the mechanisms to solve those issues. And that's what we need from elected officials. We have too many elected officials that try to do what they think is right, try to do what is in their agenda. And when you're in policing, you learn what's called community policing and problem-solving policing. And that means you go out in the community, you find out what the people want, you find out what their issues are, and you try to solve their problems, not what you think are the issues and the problems. You try to go out and find out what the public thinks is important.
Well, people that tourists, I don't mean to interrupt you, have come here and they're a little bit skeptical. You know all the smash and grabs that are going on in the malls. Well, I don't want to go into a real expensive jewelry store here because I'm afraid something like that might happen. How do you become aware of that? What do you do to get rid of their fears?
Well, first of all, as let
that happen.
First of all, as a police department, you make sure that those people that are committing those crimes are held accountable. You want to make sure that they're arrested, they're prosecuted, and they're put in prison. And we're losing that if you watch the news around the state, where there's a lot of communities that are really getting soft on crime. They decide that there are some crimes they're not going to arrest. There are some crimes they're not going to prosecute. And that is absolutely crazy because you're creating an environment where people are not held accountable for their crimes. So we want to send a message that if you come to Las Vegas, you come to Nevada, you commit a crime, you're going to get arrested and you're going to go to prison. And people will stop coming here if they hear those sorts of things. And that's the environment that we have to create here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Another colleague of yours on the city council is running for the governor of the state of Nevada. I call her Annie Oakley, but her name is Michelle Fiore. She's been on the show. Were you surprised that she declared? You know Michelle pretty well.
Yes, actually, initially, I thought she was going to run for a second term for representing Ward 6. That was my understanding. She was also kicking around running for mayor. And again, people don't always tell me what they're going to do, but she held her press conference, and I didn't know what her press conference was going to be, and she decided to run for governor. And God bless everybody who decides to run for office and put themselves out there. And she's running a very hard campaign.
Yeah.
And she has represented Ward 6 very well, and she's going to be out there with about 10 other candidates running for governor, and we'll see who the people decide will be their Republican nominee for the governor for the state of Nevada.
Yeah, it certainly is a crowded field. I would assume, are you a gun rights advocate?
A what?
A gun rights advocate?
Absolutely. I've received an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association, as well as the Nevada Firearms Coalition in the past when I've run for other offices. So I am 100% a gun owner. It states it right in the Second Amendment that you have the right to keep and bear arms, and there's no way I'm going to take that away from anybody.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hate to say it, but the police are there to protect you. These officers are going to run to danger to protect you.
Yep.
But in the first couple of seconds, you're kind of on your own, and you have to be able to protect yourself. And if somebody wants to have a firearm to protect themselves, then I'm going to protect that.
No, absolutely. I was on the use of force board for a number of years, did a lot of ride-alongs, and saw some really interesting stuff. And you got to give all the credit in the world to our police guys out here. Before we take our break, are you thinking about coming out with a calendar with your family with holding guns and rifles and all that stuff, and maybe having? Yeah.
No, I kind of keep that private. I don't want people to know how many guns I have and where I carry them. But I do have federal authority to carry a firearm.
Yes, you do.
Anywhere I go, and then exercise that pretty much everywhere I go. And the one last thing I want to say about that is, if you do carry a firearm, if you own a firearm, please take classes. Please educate yourself.
That would be a big help.
Know how to use it, and if you do that, you are going to be in a great position to protect yourself and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. That's well said. All right, we're going to step away again, take another short break. We come back, we'll wrap things up with our special guest, Stavros Anthony, and get a little more insight about what his feelings are and thoughts about being lieutenant governor. And you know what? We may turn to something really fun. We'll talk about his golf game. We'll be right back. Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over, because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55 or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com, and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scorers will love you for it. That's ONCORE Golf.com.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and we're going to continue our conversation with Stavros Anthony. And don't you think it's time, for heaven's sake, that Nevada had a legislature that met every damn year instead of every other year? Aren't we big enough yet? Don't we have enough issues? How do we get that done?
Well, actually, Dennis, I don't think we should have a session every year. We are.
You're not supposed to disagree with the host of the.
This is the one thing.
I never expected that from you.
Well, like I told you, I'm not afraid to disagree with people,
and I love that.
But I think that we're still. I still consider ourselves a fairly small state, except for Southern Nevada and up in Washoe County. I think we get plenty done every 2 years during the legislative session. And I'll tell you, a lot of people feel that when the legislature's in session, that's probably the most dangerous part of our time. So I don't see any reason why we should leave that. It shows that I believe that we're still a state where we try to keep laws and regulations at a minimum. We get people together every once in a while to make those rules. But if you go to California, they are constantly in legislative session, and they're constantly making rules that really trample on people's rights. True. So you can argue back and forth. There is you can have a good discussion about whether or not we should go to annual legislative sessions. I just personally don't believe that we're there yet.
Okay. Do you think if we did have an annual session, that might attract a different type of person that would run for the Assembly or the Senate?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We need really in our legislature, we need to have citizen legislators. And the one thing that I'm very much in favor of is term limits. I'm glad we have term limits here.
I'm with you.
And we need to have citizens that are doing something in particular that decide, you know what, I'm going to go to the Carson City, I'm going to help out, I'm going to do it for a short period of time, and then I'm going to go away. Yeah. And that's really how it should be set up. So whether we do that on an annual basis or whether we do it, semi-annually, is we can have a very solid debate about that. Yeah. And you can argue that we should have one every year. I can argue we should have it every 2 years, and I think we could have a good discussion on that. I just think we're at the point where we need to keep it the way it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's certainly fair enough. And you're going to get people that go one way or the other. What do you do as far everybody knows you need to raise a hell of a lot of money to run for office. You have fundraisers and you're on the phone and you're dialing for dollars and you're meeting people. What gives you the most enjoyment as far as meeting? It's hard to ask people for money. So what gives you the most enjoyment? Just being out in the street and running into people, talking to them about your position, or they'll come up to you and they'll say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Well, you've mentioned two of them. Number one is fundraising, and if you're going to run for office, you have to raise money. Yeah. You have to be able to get your message out there, and that's the part I probably hate the most. But I have to do it. I have to go out there and ask people for money. Absolutely. And I've had a lot of support with people writing me checks, and I very much appreciate it. But the best part about running for office is really what I did as a police officer. And what you do as a police officer is you're out in the community and you're talking to people and you're finding out what's important to them, what's going on in their neighborhood, what's going on in their schools, what's going on at their workplace. And to be able to talk to folks and find out what their issues are, and to actually go out there and try to solve them, you get I just get a lot of pleasure out of that. And I've done that as a police officer, I've done it as a captain, and that's what I've done on the city council the last 12 years, is just to go into Ward 4 and talk to folks and say, hey, we're having a problem in our neighborhood, can you fix it? And when you actually fix it, they have a new kind of a new idea of what an elected official is, that they actually came out and helped them out. And that's what I plan on doing as lieutenant governor. I'm going to travel the state and find out what are the issues important to people, and I'm going to try to fix them. And that's I've done that my whole life, and I really enjoy that, because you walk away saying, I helped somebody.
Right.
And that's what elected officials should be doing.
That's exactly right. That is totally what it's all about. You mentioned raising money and stuff. Do you have any plans for what's your plan going forward as far as you're going to do TV, you're going to do radio, you're going to do print, you're going to have fundraisers, you're going to have a parade? What are you going to do?
You pretty much just covered it all. You covered. I have a great campaign team put together, a great fundraising team put together, and it's I've been doing this for a while, so yeah, we're gonna go out there and raise some money, and we're gonna do some television, and we're gonna do billboards and all that. But really, what the most important thing is, I'm gonna go to every single event that I can go to anywhere in the state of Nevada, and go up to people and shake their hands and say, I'm running for lieutenant governor, what can I do for you?
Right.
And that's really the best part, and that doesn't cost very much money, is to go out there and actually say hi to folks and talk to them.
With them. Sure.
Yeah. But we got a budget, and I have to make sure I fund it, and I'm gonna have a great time traveling the state of Nevada and talking to everybody and finding out what's important to them. So we're good. Everything you just said, we're going to do.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I'm looking forward to it.
And it sounds like you know what you're doing, so maybe we'll get you to run for elected office.
Hey, I don't know what office that would be, but that would be great. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to step away. We are going to show Stavros, Mr. Anthony, our game tip of the week, brought to you by Scratch Golf Academy and the great Adam Bazalgette, who's a 3-time PGA Section Teacher of the Year in Florida. Help his game a little bit, help my game a little bit. We're going to show you that and do a couple of spots, and then come back and finish up the show with Anthony. So we return right after this.
Hi there, Adam Bazalgette here from Scratch Golf Academy with another game improvement tip for the 19th hole podcast for golfers. Let's look at a little drill for your driver. I'm giving you a sense of the target line. Parallel to that, you can obviously see the ball. I have placed a tee fairly high, sticking fairly far out of the ground, about off my instep. Off there. So let's try a small shot. There's my tee, just back to about here, and clip it off the ground while my weight moves towards the target. I could hear that thing, well, you could see it clip both tees. Do a few of those, then add some speed. Don't think so much about it and start to work that into your swing. I'd probably only hit that 100 yards. That's about all you'd want on the drill. I think it will help you get a great feel, help you drive the ball better.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We just have a couple of minutes left with Stavros. Let's get to the important stuff. How often you playing golf? How you hitting the ball? Where do you like to play? That kind of stuff. And when we getting out, when you and I are going to tee it up.
Well, first of all, I've never golfed with you, but I'm sure that you are a much better golfer than me. I think the best part about golfing is you get outside for 4 hours with your buddies, and you smoke some cigars, and you hit some great shots, and then you hit some lousy shots.
Right, that's what it's about.
You go into the clubhouse at the end, and you exchange money.
You commiserate.
And you have a beer. I don't know if you can say you can exchange money here, but we always exchange money. But you know what? I try to get out once a week, depending on what's going on. It could be once every couple of weeks, and I play with a lot of retired Metro police officers, and I'm about a 16 handicap.
Okay.
So I'm probably
Very nice player.
I'm probably 90% of golfers, you go out there and you get some pars and you get some bogeys and some doubles. Every once in a while, I'll get a triple, which is terrible. But I just have...
that's never happened to me.
Never.
Oh, never, yeah.
But I tell you what, it's just... It's a fun game, but you know, Dennis, it's a tough game. You got to go from a driver down to chipping over water. So it's a complete game, but I absolutely love it. I have a lot of fun.
So many facets to the game that make it so fascinating, and people that really don't play, not that they don't watch golf on TV, but you got to get out there and do it yourself and just see what this thing is all about, because it almost is a science. What's your favorite course in Las Vegas that you have played?
Well, probably the most spectacular course I've ever played here is Southern Highlands.
Southern Highlands?
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
I normally play the Sun City Summerlin courses, Highland Falls and Palm Valley.
Okay.
I really like those courses.
Those
Painted
are great
Desert.
fun.
Painted Desert is a great course to play. I've played Cascada, which is phenomenal.
Wonderful.
The only course I have not played in Southern Nevada.
Shadow Creek.
That's the one.
If you're nice to me, I might get you out there.
Well, that would be spectacular.
Yeah.
That would be...
It'll cost you breakfast.
Okay, and lunch.
Yeah.
I would love to play Shadow Creek. That would be wonderful.
I will make the call. I will make the call. That's the deal. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on. We wish you the best in your race, and we'll have you back on sooner than later, because everybody's kicking it up right now. It's really campaign mode, and pretty soon people got to step up and actually file and do it for real. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see who's left.
Well, if you want to help out my campaign, you can email me at stavrosanthony@gmail.com, stavrosanthony@gmail.com. You can call me on my cell, 702-812-0123. And my website is stavros4frnevada.com, and I'd be glad to take your help in any way I can get it. And if you have any questions, please call me personally.
Yeah, or if you see him walking around the street, Stavros, he'll come over and talk to you. He's super, super approachable. That's why he's such a nice guy. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I've been your host, Dennis Silvers, and on behalf of Stavros Anthony, we appreciate you watching in. We want to wish you nothing but fairways and greens. And no matter what you do, folks, when the time comes, get out and vote, okay? We'll see you back. Same time, same place next week. So long, everybody.